Fly across the water all night. We try to stay awake at first, patch ourselves up, remain vigilant. But the very trindles asleep are quick to descend. Curl up with my head on the pile of rigging, hugging my arms to my chest, hoping to all things holy that when I wake up, I'll be back in my bed. And all this will have will have been nothing but a horrible nightmare. But it's not. When I creak my glowing eyes open again to take in the sun on the horizon, all I see is a wide swath of blue, as far as the eye can see. Take turns rowing with the spare boards lying at the bottom of the boat. I'm not sure if it does anything, but at least it feels more productive than sitting there twiddling our thumbs. Voice is still hoarse, my throat raw. Genzo tells me my neck looks fine, but look of concern betrays him. Must look awful, especially with all the scratches I can feel stinging my cheeks and forehead. Can't imagine Genzo feels much better. Catch him rubbing his shoulder when he doesn't see me looking. Don't speak about what happened. That would make it too real. Instead, we sit mostly in silence, rowing, resting, watching the sun rise overhead, getting its slow descent back down. The skies just started to turn a soft shade of pink when Genzo makes a noise. Points in the direction we're floating. Spires on the horizon. Land. Smile in spite of myself. Thank fucking God. We're set to rowing now, anxious to be back on solid ground, despite the fear of what might await us. Nothing can talk with what just happened at this point. Right. Ooh, a castle. Place-wise turns out to be attached to a castle. A large castle. As we row closer, looms all the larger. Soaring walls, giant towers, twisting walkways, and glittering red peaks. Surrounded on the outside by a wide moat, even further out by the red and orange roofs of a small castle town. Genzo whistles between his teeth. Quite the hunk of architecture. Was there ever a castle here? I asked softly as I feel myself becoming much, much smaller in its shadow. Don't remember, but that's not saying much. Chill on the inside of my cheek. No flashes of memory here. Not like back in the village. But we're quite a ways from the cottage now. Might never have come out this far. There's scraping rumbling beneath us, and the boat slows to a stop. We've hit land. No dock or pier here. Instead, Nick simply guides up against the bank, almost like some kind of grassy beach. Hop out the boat into the ankle-deep water, drag it the rest of the way, not wanting it to get swept back out of the water, unless we need it for another quick escape. My feet squish inside my shoes. Getting pretty dark now. Not too keen on walking around this place at night. Maybe there's a place to shack up in town. Get us rolling the legs of his pants back down around his ankles. Simply nod. A soft place to lay our heads would be a welcome respite at this point. So it leads us up the hill and in the direction of the buildings we saw earlier. Not far. Already I can see what looks like fishing shacks just up the bend. And past that, cobblestone road leading into the town proper. Put my head in the open doors of one of the shacks. No one's there. No one traveling the road either. It's almost eerily quiet. Ding dong, anyone home? Genzo knocks on another one of the doors, shrugs at the lack of reply. Pull our road towards what seems to be the center of town. More and more buildings lining on our either side. Even here, paths remain empty. And the windows of the buildings are dark. The only sound is the fountain in the middle of the square. Tinkling, tinkling, tinkling. I know I got a bit of a reputation, but I didn't think it was that bad. This feels weird. I think that's pronounced fucked up. Definitely with you on that one, Genzo. Look to the left. Two buildings that look like stores sit silent and motionless. Hastily scrawled closed signs hanging askew from their doors. Look to the right. Dark windows of a small cafe stare back hauntingly. It's an outdoor seating area devoid of life. I'm gonna try something. Genzo cups his hands around his mouth. Takes a deep breath. Genzo, no. Hiss and grab his arm. What? Shoots me a look of confusion. Suddenly, for some reason, making noise seems like a really bad thing. Whole back of my neck is tingling. Turn my head, straining my ears. Footsteps. Marching footsteps. Far away now, but getting closer. Need to hide. Promptly yank Genzo off towards the gap between two nearby buildings. We hunker down in the shadows, with our backs to the wall, waiting, listening. Footsteps are close now. That rhythm, sharp and methodical, and perfectly in time. We know who it is that's going to appear from around that building. Battalion of rabbits marches into the square, 2 by 2, ears jouncing, eyes twitching, boots smacking the ground in harmonized cadence. Jesus, I hear Genzo whisper beneath his breath. Press my back even tighter against the wall. Rabbits come to a synchronized stop in front of the fountain. Not the same battalion as before, that much I can tell. Leader at least doesn't seem quite as jumpy. Rabbit in question procures a folded sheet of parchment from within the armament, folds it, coughs, and squawks. Seneca leans. You're hereby under arrest by order of the king. You are to surrender yourself peacefully. Failure to do so will be understood as treason to the crown. We will be forced to use whatever means necessary to detain you. Another cough. Rolls the paper. Looks around. The square is still empty. Scowls and rolls his eyes. Search the houses, he belts. Returns the paper to the slit of his armor. The other rabbits set it to motion immediately, each of them darting up towards a different house. Don't even bother knocking. Slam open the doors with their shoulders and disappear inside. Frenzy stomping is soon mixed with frightened yelps and screams. There are people inside. I gulp, clench my eyes shut. But that just makes it even more terrifying. So I open them back up, gaze drifting shakily between each of the open doors. High-pitched scream bites through the air. Found her, sir. One of the rabbits emerges from their house on the other side of the square. His hand is clenched in the long blonde hair of a woman in a brown dress, dragging her out in sharp yanks that punctuate her screams. Excellent work, Secretary. Leader Rabbit marches over in 2 crisp steps. Slides the paper back out, and folds it, coughs. Chanticleer leans. You're hereby under arrest by the order of the king. You are to screams even louder. On and on and on and on. Can you guys shut her up? Even from as far away as we are, sound of it jabs my eardrums like a knife. Leader Rabbit stops and sighs. Just take her in. Jabs her thumb in the direction of the castle. Sentry salutes and drags her kicking, squirming body across the cobblestones. Doors slam around us as the rest of the sentries abandon their searches and return to formation. Heading back. And my chest begins to loosen. Over here, sir. It takes me a second to realize the shouting is coming from right behind us. Turn just as one of the sentries bumps Genzo with the butt of his spear. Genzo yelps. Rounds into me, we both go sprawling out into the street. 2 suspicious individuals hiding over here. Ah, shit. Tend to push myself up to my knees only for the sentry boot to come down hard on my back. Well, 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 what have we here? Leader muses. Hear him march towards us, crest methodical. Up, he gestures. Before I can wonder what he means, the sentry has grabbed both of us by the back of our collars, heaved us off the ground. Fabric on my shirt digs into my throat. My arms are flung up to my either side like a chicken about to take flight. Try to kick, try to fight. I really do, but my feet don't even touch the ground. All I manage to do is further cut off the circulation in my already tender neck as I swing. Lee Robert grabs me by the chin and wrenches my head upwards. Fingers bite into my jaw and cheeks. Interesting. Twist my head to the right and to the left. Then he lets my head drop as unexpectedly as he grabbed it. Moves on to Genzo. Genzo grins. Want to play rough? All we had to do was ask. Oz did have a thing for bondage play. Genzo, this is not the time. This rules Genzo with a backhand slap to the face and he yelps. Shut up. And something must catch the rabbit's eye, because he didn't go straight as lightning rods. Grabs Genzo again, jerks his head and the other way. This one. This is the one His Majesty is looking for. His Majesty? Rabbit smiles, laughs, grins, reaching towards his ears. Sir? Sentry holding us ass. Then with a score that makes my ears ring. Bring them in, both of them. Lee Rabbit lets Genzo's head fall and clasps his hand together, clearly tickled pink. We'll be eating well tonight, gentlemen. Sir, Sentry tries to salute, then must realize he can't. His arms are full of, well, us. Simply straightens instead, clinking his heels together. Back in formation, the rabbit screeches again. Sentries are quick to get back in line. Sentry follows. That's when I'm wondering if we're going to be carried like this the whole way. World turns upside down, tossed like a sack of potatoes over the Sentry's shoulders. Oh, at least we don't have to walk there. Warrior smacks at the backside of his armor with an audible clang. Once my head stops spinning, I glance over to see Genzo draped over the shoulder of another sentry. So I can do to throw him a look of helplessness as the marching begins anew beneath us, taking us towards the castle and whatever or whoever awaits us there. Ooh, spooky music. Shiny marble floor of the grand hall welcomes me to the castle with a crack to my jaw. Simply lie there for a moment as the tendrils of pain shoot out through my shoulder and face. Slowly push myself up on my hands. Swear I can still hear the reverberating slap on my body hitting the floor echoing off the walls. In front of us is a grand staircase. When my gaze follows it upwards, met with the highest ceiling I've ever seen. Up it goes, and decorated with multiple crystalline chandeliers at its peak. Stained glass windows of brilliant kaleidoscope designs line the wall on the way back down, followed by the lower levels by dark-colored tapestries, at least 3 times my height. Suddenly feel very small. Attention! A screech from behind me. And a sentry is circling us for a crisp salute. Genzo groans and rolls over, pushes himself up to a seat. After having experienced it, I can now say that getting thrown over your shoulder is like a continental soldier. It's not the romantic fantasy I always envisioned. It's quiet for a moment, then hear the sound of ass cheeks clapping down the hallway. Is all I could think of. In the far hallway, a small figure emerges, clapping its hands together slowly. Oh, it's his hands, not his ass cheeks. Oh, I recognize that colored text anywhere. Glad to see that mouth of yours haven't changed despite your newly regained visual acuity. Oh hey, Orlum. Long time no see. It's Orlum. Fucking Orlum. Sporting a gaudy as fuck crown. Red velvet cape with white and black fur. Escorted on either side by a pair of over-embellished rabbit attendants. Jaw drops nearly to the floor. Gizzard has to bring a hand to his mouth to stifle his laughter. He nearly chokes. What the fuck, Orlum? Look like a love child of Prince John and Madame Medusa. One face goes red. He clenches his fists. His jaw tightens. Softens, he forces a smile. Must be so tired having walked all this way. Now I'm thinking back on what happened with Gidget, I'm kind of worried about her safety now. And Rabbit did say they were specifically looking for Genzo. Uh-oh. Genzo's about to have a rough time, I think. Push myself to my feet with a little wobble. Yeah, it is a little bit much. We came a long ways to get here. It is a bit much, I say beneath my breath. I think I afford to catch my balance. Only for the nearest sentry to thrust his spear right in front of my stomach. Jerk backwards with a stumble that almost sends me back to the floor. Now, no need for any of that. I'll spread his arms. These are my guests. I want you to treat them with nothing but the utmost respect. Rise towards us, little cape fluttering. Sentry pauses, but ultimately retracts his spear. One tut-tuts beneath his breath. Hands to my collar and fixes the skewered fabric. Look at you. You look awful. Wipes the dirt off the front of my shirt and smooths down the hem. No, that won't do. We will get you cleaned up. Get some food in those bellies. And you will stay in two of my grandest rooms. Genzo hops to his feet next to me and straightens his hat. Who died and made you king, huh? Owen just smiles that off-kilter smile of his. Laughs. Every syllable is perfectly enunciated, and there's an identical gap between each. Wouldn't you like to know? Well, I'm sure we're about to find out. All the citizens off to the bars, each with their own rabbit attendant. Our own incredibly doting rabbit attendant. It's weird enough when my attendant helps me undress, but it gets exponentially weirder the moment he guides me to the tub and begins scrubbing me down. You know I can wash myself, so as I blow a cluster of bubbles off my nose. Rabbit has my wrist in the air and is currently scrubbing the underside of my arm. His Majesty wants to assure you're spotless, is the only response I get. Once the cleansing has finished, I feel as though I've lost about 3 layers of skin. I'm toweled off and dressed in a thick white robe. Then, is to large vanity, my curls are blow-drying and where I'm given a new view of the state of my face for the first time. I'm missing a mirror. Purple brown bruises form a circle around my throat, coming to a head just beneath my ears. My cheeks are lined with rough red scratches. Even my eyes look bad. Dark and red, sporting twin black circles that stretch towards my nose. Attendant finishes brushing down out my now fuzzy hair. Place my glasses back on my nose. Thankful their thick frame hides some of the damages around my eyes. There's a knock at the door. Another rabbit enters the room, holding a neatly folded set of clothes. It takes me a second to realize they're my own. Wait, when did you... They've been cleaned and dried and perfectly pressed. I had no idea how. I couldn't have been in the bath longer than 20 minutes. My attendant, of course, has no inclination of letting me dress myself. I raise my arms and he tugs the shirt over my head, smoothing it carefully across my front and then back. Then tugs me into my pants and cinches the waist tight with the clasp. Fear of doing something wrong and everything going to hell supersedes my severe discomfort with the whole situation. Once I'm finally finished, my attendant leads me back into the hall. Genso and his attendant emerge from the door on the opposite side, and at almost exactly the same time, he looks disturbed. Was that the weirdest fucking thing you ever experienced, or did they do something different to you? He says as our attendant guides us back downstairs. You mean with the bathing and everything? Yes, shoots the attendant where I look. Guy definitely spent too long on my dick. Come on, you wouldn't enjoy it, Genzo. My face flush. I didn't really pay attention. Truth be told, I spent most of the time in the bath with my eyes closed and thinking of England. Bottom of the steps, we turn right. The road takes us down with a grand corridor lined on either side with Titanic-sized flags. Each one we pass is a darker shade of red, leading to a giant set of double doors at the end of the hall. Two more rubber attendants step to the side as the door opens on their own like magic. You're in an enormous golden ballroom. This is definitely giving me flashbacks to Slay the Princess. Hopefully, Orlin doesn't have an overwhelming shadow making his every move. At the center, a long table piled high with some of the most opulent food I've ever seen in my life. Plump roasts, golden rolls, buttery pies, cakes with more tiers than I can count. And colours, so many colours. Bright and vivid, and all of it steaming hot, sitting atop brilliant bronze tableware that gleams in the light of the chandeliers. Even a real working fountain, pumping out what looks like pints of liquid chocolate. Eyes practically bug out of my head. Time to feast! Hopefully none of it is poisoned, but man, we are definitely in need of good eating. Next to me, Genzo makes a sign of the cross in front of his chest. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Or, about to sin. A feast for the eyes, no. We spared no expense. I laugh. Not that we would need to. Genzo twitches. Do you have to do that creepy coming out of the shadows thing like some kind of fucking rodent? Well, just smiles. He's already lit it. I is squinting further in amusement. I'll get to eat like this every night. I'm sure it's quite a treat for both of you. Yeah, we're really impressed with your ability to whoosh your way into power. Genzo rolls his eyes. Olim ignores him. He ambles over and throws his arm around both of our shoulders. Gentlemen, it's been so long. Can't we just enjoy this evening of opulence together? Night is still young, after all. Let's live like kings, or as close to it as you two will ever get. Genzo winces, but allows himself to be guided towards the table the same. It is rather a tempting sight. We're seated on either side of the table. More sets of rubber attendants scurry to ready our chairs. Nolan himself sits on at the head of the table in an extravagant throne. It looks like it could fit 5 of him inside of it. Yeah, that looks like a really comfy chair. Man, I wouldn't mind having it. Front sits is the right word. More lounges. I mean, I would lounge in a chair like that too. I mean, definitely a good chair for feasting. leans back amongst the piles of cushion and blankets lining the seat, chin balanced on his palm, then raises his arm in the air and snaps his fingers. One of the rubber attendants waiting aside the far door darts over and places a golden wine glass in his outstretched hand, then immediately fills it. Olin swirls it, taking a sip, glances at us, both simply watching him in awkward disbelief. Raises his hand in exasperation. Eat! Eat! Sam and head back towards the food. I am hungry. Famished even. Haven't had anything to eat since arriving here. Reach forward and begin grabbing some of the best looking items on the table, filling up my plate. Genzo snorts as he forks a giant slice of roast and bursts half of it off with his teeth. Sure got everyone wood around here. I mean, what do you expect? I am the king. I can do whatever I want, and no one's going to stop me. Takes another gulp of wine. It feels good to be respected for once. I spoon a dollop of buttery potatoes into my mouth. Mine goes immediately to the town outside. That woman we saw drag screaming from her home. A little iron-fisted, isn't it? A shrug. They need discipline. You should have seen the place when I arrived. Nothing but chaos, anarchy. No one to keep the masses in line. Swallowed by a smirk. I'm making great progress, if you could call it that. Oh, I get it. No one likes you, so you had to force them to like you. Should have expected no less from the big O. Oh, I'm sure you're gonna get a big O later. Olin twitches, but otherwise doesn't react. Oh, I'm sure he's gonna be saving it for later. Leans forward with an ever-present smile. Wine, gentlemen? Hand goes up before we have the chance to respond. Another snap sends two rubber attendants to the table, ready glasses to serve us. Oh, sure. Don't mind if I do. Genzo promptly down about half of his glass in one gulp. Sits slowly at mine, washing down a chunk of what seems to be bacon-wrapped asparagus. The gaze goes back to Olin, watching Genzo, staring at Genzo, leaning forward, chin in his hand, grinning from ear to ear. Yeah, I get the feeling he's thinking of all the worst possible things he could do to Genzo right now. I follow Genzo's every move. Movement of the wine glass from mouth to table. Before it falls a cottage pie he shovels into his mouth. Laying aside me, deep down beneath my bowels, sparks and twists in strange discomfort. Yeah, you're not the only one feeling like that, Iggy. Olin picks up a fork and uses it to cut off a small piece of bright red meatloaf. Jabs into the tines, floats it in Genzo's direction. Try some of the loaf. Genzo wipes the pie crumbs off his mouth, gobbles up the piece on Olin's fork without question, says to his bowl to chew. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about all of this. Slurps up a spoonful, raises his fingers, still chewing. None of this negates the fact that I think you're a bit, conniving douchebag, Just really hungry. Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. Olin places his fork back down, hands to his cheeks like a pinning lover. Another lightning like jab in my gut. As hungry as I am, I had a hard time finding the constructing twist in my stomach. Get a room already? I'm sorry, but I had to go for this one. As usual, when faced with an uncomfortable situation, tried to divert everyone's attention with a not so well placed joke. Geez, you two, will you get a room already? Forced a chuckle. Genzo twitches, is pulling back in a grimace. Begins toying wordlessly at his steak. That reaction, I wonder if something maybe happened between the two of them, At least maybe romantically, and it didn't end so well, potentially. Olin, on the other hand, shoots me a glare. Yeah. What did I say, huh? Bring out my hands in confusion. Always the kidder, are we? You always were a kidder, Steve. Olin's eyes widen. God, sorry, drop my gaze. Just trying to make conversation. Then take to my food, spearing an egg over the top of my potatoes, watching the yolk run across the folds. Maybe you two wouldn't be at each other's throats all the time. Each other's throats? Genzo snaps. Like if this fucker wouldn't be such an obnoxious jackass all the time. Oh, so it's my fault. When you're the one who thinks his shit smells better than anyone else's. Olin slams down his wine glass. What did I ever do to you, huh? Now Genzo springs to his feet. You existed. You ever thought about that? Just the sight of you makes me nauseous. Guys, holy fuck. Jerk halfway up and out of my chair, waving my hands. Can we just calm down here? Can't help but notice the nearest rabbit attendants have moved closer to the table. Genzo turns away in a half. Comes back down into his chair, chewing slowly on the food still in his mouth. We'll glance at Olin. Just sitting there, jaw clenched and fingers tight around his wine glass. For just a moment, I swear to see water glint in his eyes. Then his earlier smirk returns. Soon through a pointing glance at the nearest rabbit attendant. Nods his head and the rabbit moves back towards their previous position near the door. Yes, there's no reason to bicker. Civility is stability, Draws his wine, takes a sip. Let's press together in discomfort. Now wishing I hadn't said anything at all. So, Olin, start wiping my mouth off with a napkin. What's your plan then? You just gonna stay down here? Olin rests his chin on his hand, but lacklusterly. Oh, I don't know. Just play it by ear, I guess. Not like anyone's gonna miss me up there. There's just, so much good I can do here. Why rush things? Why indeed, I muttered to myself. Guys on my words with my wine glass. Cough. But have you looked at all into how the door opened in the first place? I obviously have quite a bit of reach down here. Could be looking into what's going on, searching for bugs. Olin blows a raspberry. Sounds like a lot of work. Raises his wine glass above his head, let it spin it back and forth. Besides, if Bucks is down here, she might not want to be found. I certainly haven't seen any traces of her. Neither have any of my men. Genzo gasps. If I was stuck down here with you, I'd steer clear too. More wine, Genzo? Olin asks uneasily. Does the chicken have lips? Not a snap of the fingers. Then a rabbit attendant returns to the table with a nearly open bottle of wine, filling up Genzo's glass. Despite the blaze response, his words do give me pause. All his rabbit guards seem to be everywhere. So if even they've never run into Bucks, maybe she really isn't here. That just doesn't seem to make any sense. Yeah, these two already seem to have... Oh yeah, him and Gidget seem to have found the door open already, so... I don't know. Something wrong, Iggy? I'll lean towards me this time. Not enjoying your food? Give a little start. No, it's not. I ran a hand through my curls. Tiny tendrils of sweat beginning to form on my forehead. Just not feeling super hot, I guess. Maybe I need to lie down for a bit. Of course. Surely been through quite the ordeal. Touch his fingers again. Guards, take Iggy to the room we prepared. Needs his rest. Two guards emerge from the main doorway. March over and pull my chair away from the table. Don't think it's probably best that we leave these two alone together, but stand up somewhat hesitantly and throw Genzo a look across the table. still chomping away happily. Catch up with you later, Eggs. Yeah, okay. Sleep well now. Long ways and the guards lead me out of the ballroom, back into the hallway. Head is really starting to feel fuzzy now. Uh-oh. Blood draws down the back of my neck, and cold chill sends goosebumps up and down my arms. Guards takes me to up multiple flights of stairs. Legs feel like more jellified with each landing we reach. Yeah, I think the food was drugged. Finally, we turn down the hallway lined with ornately carved doors. Open the second door on the left and beckon me inside. Delightfully dim inside, nothing but a fluttery candelabra on the bedside table to light the room. And quiet, too. Somehow it cools the intense beating starting up in the back of my head. I head straight for the bed. It's enormous and piled high with soft white pillows. When I shrink off my pants and slip under the sheets, it feels heavenly to my skin. Tired. So tired. Eyes close on their own. Hot. Dizzy. Tired. A thrum at the base of my skull. Think Genzo chomping away at the table. Volume and that eerily cloying smile. Had Olin always been like that? I can't seem to remember. Mousy for sure, but never so downright creepy. I can see him. I can see all of them. Sitting at the table in the cafeteria, scarfing down the trays of hamburgers, peas, and carrots. Olin's next to Genzo, slapping quietly on his milk carton. Smiles when Genzo talks. Laughs harder than anyone when Genzo makes a joke. I'm still waiting for a line for my food, grabbing and head towards the table with my friends. Hey, Iggs is here. Genzo glances up at my arrival. Poor Olin. Wait, yeah. Make room, he elbows Olin hard. Olin goes tumbling back off the bench, milk splashing up and onto his shirt and face. Sit your ass down, Iggs. Stand there for a moment, looking at the vacated seat, looking at Olin on the floor. Olin returns the gaze helplessly. Finally, I sit down and push Olin's tray out the way. I don't say anything. Man, some friends they were to Olin. God, poor dude. Yes. No wonder he acts the way he does. Genzo wraps his arms around my shoulder with a laugh, launches straight back into the story he'd been telling. Olin pushes himself up on his bony little knees to reach his tray, face dark. Spends the rest of the lunch in silence. Oh, poor dude. What he wants to do is fit in. My stomach gurgles. Maybe we were too hard on him all these years. Not even sure why he kept hanging out with us, to be honest. And all the friends, I suppose. None of us had any other friends. Sigh. Face feels so hot. Haven't come down with something. Or I hope I haven't come down with something. Wonder for a moment if Genzo is still eating. And drift off into restless sleep. Man, we're definitely going to need to sleep, because we're going to probably encounter many more horrors. Oh great, you're back. What do you want, Iggy? What do you wish for more than anything else in the world? I'm not sure what it is that wakes me up. Sleep hasn't been all that deep. I can vaguely remember tossing and turning a few times. Even then, my head has remained foggy and my breath is slow. Now, however, I feel as sharp as a tack. I feel my heart beating at a quickened pace against my ribs. I open my eyes. The room is dark. Candles must have gone out at some point. But it's quiet, motionless. Nothing and no one that could have woken me up. I stare at the ceiling. Forehead and cheeks are sweaty. My legs feel restless. Strange feeling in my gut from the dinner is back. Not quite as pronounced, but still there, lying low, and every so often twinges of anxious nausea up into my stomach. Roll over, pause a moment, slide my feet off the side of the bed and sit up. Reach for my glasses and warm my heart to calm. Isn't working. Probably just anxious. Who wouldn't be after everything that's happened? Maybe a short walk will help. Get some air. Cool off a bit. Trudge over towards the chair where I left my pants in a crumpled pile. Slice down to put them on. Grimace and turn up my nose. Mouth tastes awful. Maybe I can find the kitchen and get some water while I'm at it. Yawn and head for the door. Light of the hallway blinds me for a moment as I step outside. It's equally as quiet out here as it was in the room. Able to look around, find myself alone. No guards, no attendants. One long empty hallway, door after door after door. Wonder where Genzo is. Did they put him in the room next to mine? Another yawn. Stand forward down the hallway. Yeah. Get the feeling that, Genzo got his own very special room. Probably not as good as mine, but yeah. Pretty sure I can remember the way back downstairs. And by then, I'm sure there'll be someone I can ask for directions, even to get the water for me. The attendant certainly seemed willing to help. Hall opens up, winding as it curls around to connect to the stairs. Trace my hand along the railing as I start down, taking it slow and easy, keeping an eye out for one of the rabbits. One flight, two. Make it to the bottom with no sign of life. Up ahead and through the archway, see the wide expanse of the grand hall. Entertain the thought of calling out for someone, but ultimately decide against it. Somehow I don't want to hear what my voice would sound like in the midst of all this emptiness. Start for the hall, only to freeze. Footsteps. More than one. In fact, a whole lot of footsteps. But in the opposite direction, away from the hall and down a windowless corridor to my left. Blink in silence, chew my bottom lip. Walk quietly, ever so quietly, down the corridor. There's a fork up ahead. When I peer around the corner, to the tail end of the battalion of rabbits at the end of the hall. Moving away from me. In a few more moments more, disappear entirely down another corridor to the left. Interesting. I've forgotten about the water entirely by this point. Sparkle of unease in my gut has gotten stronger. Now it's pulling me down that hall after them. A final glance behind me, I follow, silently, stealthily, but quick enough that I don't potentially lose them around whatever twists and turns await. Make it to the next corner, pause, take a glance. Nothing. They're gone. Pull back, throw my barrels, and check a second time. Still nothing. Pull away from the wall entirely and creep closer. There aren't any other forks or hallways to turn down, just one straight track leading down to the far wall. Yet they simply disappeared. Scratch my head. Well, that was weird. Step towards the wall, placing my hands against the stone. I feel solid, at least as far as I can tell. Get a frustrating slap. Then, with a low rumble, it moves. Whoa. I step back with a start. First, it moves backwards, as though recoiling from my touch. In a grinding creak that riles my jaw, switches gears and pulls off and away from the right. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear any of this happening when the rabbits went through. Leaving behind a neatly stone tunnel in its wake. Guess that explains that, mumble out loud without realizing it. The tunnel appears dark at first. I can see light further down. Despite my misgivings, I can't stop at this point. In way too deep. So I push forward and into the darkness, one hand on the wall like some kind of guardrail into the unknown. First thing I notice is the smell. Makes my nose twitch, curl upwards. Don't even know how to describe it. Like a stew that's been on the pot too long. Everything's starting to congeal. Further I walk, the stronger it gets. Plugging my nose doesn't help. It's in my lungs now, coming back out through my mouth like a damp towel on my tongue. I stop for a moment, starting to make me dizzy. But wipe my clammy film of sweat from my forehead and neck and keep going. Lighter, brighter, hotter. The smell seems practically solidified and sticking to my skin. It's heavy in the air. Pregnant and droplets of moisture suspended in the wall of heat and dripping from the walls. Lighter, brighter, hotter. My head starts to spin. I can see the tunnel open up just ahead. One step. The room beyond starts to take shape, large and filled with steam. 2 steps. The flickering lights dance across, almost red across the dark stone walls. Then out into the expanse, out onto a balcony overlooking a cave of steam. The smell hits me like a punch to the gut. I feel myself start to retch. Even the smell doesn't compare to what I see when I look out over the edge into the room below. Cauldrons. Cauldrons? I have no idea, but they're huge and round and filled to the brim with thick, red, boiling sop. More and more of them, filling out the room. Bubbling, churning, whirling, emitting thick clouds of greasy steam that twist and coil in the above air. I only have to wonder for a split second what's in the cauldron before I see it. An arm. A human arm. Shooting from the boiling muck and hanging limp over the side, red, swollen, blistered. Yeah, I think we found out what Willem is doing to the townsfolk. Reel back. Can't breathe. Can't think. What if it was numb? The fuck? My gaze jumps from cauldron to cauldron. I see more. Naked backsides bobbing up and down. Errant hand and foot sticking out above the frothy soup. Long dark hair curling in the water. Knees nearly give. Have to lean hard against the railing to keep crumpling to the floor. This is my slaughterhouse. Ah, shit. Spin around, heart beating out of my chest. Hi, Orlin. You're not gonna kill me, are ya? I was standing at the entrance to the tunnel, hands spread wide in a show of pride. Though some might prefer abattoir, a bit fancier, wouldn't you say? Step back against the railing, hands grasping at the cold stone. What are you... Can't seem to form words. Tongue feels like about 10 times the normal size. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious. Takes a step forward, rubbing his chin. I need to feed my people somehow. I also need to deal with the rebel rousers. Why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? You can't eat people, I finally manage. You certainly didn't seem to have a problem with it earlier tonight. Oh great! We were eating people! People shrink in their sockets as my blood runs cold. Think back to our meal in the ballroom. Steaming roast, the meat pies, the bacon wrapped in asparagus. Bar rises to the back of my throat, and before I can stop it, lurched forward and spilled the contents of my stomach out on the floor. Olin watches in disconcern. Once the convulsions in my stomach stop, rise back up shakily, vomit dripping from my lips and down my chin. You're sick, I cringe and bring up a hand to cover my mouth. Well, you know what they say about glass houses. Olin saunters over to the railing to look down on his house of horrors. Flickering lights colour his face red in the steam. You know, I was going to leave you out of this. This is a matter between me and him, after all. But, well, you had to go snooping and find this place. I'm afraid that just won't do. Kings need some of their secrets to stay just that. Secret. Turns towards me with a playful smile. Take a step backwards, 1,000 alarm bells going off in my head. Where's Genzo? Or just waking up, I would imagine. Twist towards the railing. I search the room frantically. Then I see him, far off to the right, laying on the floor, surrounded by a circle of guards. Genzo! I screech. Olin begins walking towards me, and I spin around in panic. Let's plead with him. I'm sure that'll go well. Had to stop Olin. Had to convince him against this no matter what it takes. There's any way out of this. Rather than backing up, as he likely expects, dive forward and grab him by the collar of the shirt. Lifting him up on his toes and his face practically against mine. Olin, listen to me, please. Despite the trembling in my body, my voice is oddly steady. Olin's eyes blink in surprise, mere centimeters from my own. I know, I swallow. Things haven't always been great between us, but this isn't the way to do things. Mine flashes to Gidget, face. Eyes when they turned on me, warped and distorted, bringing with irrational rage. So much rage. Yeah, this place is definitely bringing out the worst in all of us. Bringing up all of our negative feelings and, yeah, pretty much bringing in our wishes to life. No matter how bad the consequences are. This place, it does things. Sounds something to you, but you can fight it. Tears spring to my eyes, and the sheer desperation packed into my voice. Another blink from Olin. Then his lips curl back into a smile. Done something to me? Whatever do you mean? Brings his hands out to his sides. That instant, I see his gaze go towards something behind me. Before I had the chance to even think about turning around, clamps down in my hand, snaps my head, my neck, ties bone backwards and away from Olin. The shuddering crack sends my glasses flying. Don't move. I can't move. Body has gone numb. My neck. Something wrong with my neck. Looking too far backwards. It's tight. So tight. Can't breathe. All I can do is stare helplessly up towards the ceiling, faced with the rabbit whose hand is still clenched around my curls. Hands slide away from Olin, falls back down to his heels. Gives a little shake of his head, dusts himself off, straightens his shirt. Probably should have warned you about that, clicks his tongue. This man of mine can be very protective if anyone gets close to me. Likes to do silly things like, snap people's necks. Turns my finger to his lips in amusement. I open my mouth to say something, but all that comes out is an awful retching sound. It's the strangest feeling. It should be pain, but I don't feel anything. Just tightness. Everything is tight, shaking, warped. Like a voice is clamped down on my throat and slowly squeezing my head off my body. Olin walks around to my side, taking me from the rabbit and cradling my upper half as though mid-dip on the dance floor. Drops to his knees. Simply stare at him, head cocked backwards and jaw agape. The world is starting to warp and spin. Don't worry, it'll all be over soon. Brushes my bangers out of my eyes. Then the corners of his mouth curls upwards, bites down on my lip in growing glee. I'll make sure you're given the finest care by our chef. I laugh. Lays his head down right next to my ear now, even as everything begins to fade. After all, I always wanted to know how he tastes. When he gives a final shudder, then everything goes black. Oh, that's one way to go out, I guess. God damn it. Yeah, this place has definitely gone to all of them too. Fortunately, you were cooked. But at least you tasted great. Okay, yep, time to restart from the last choice. Okay, let's try for the stairs instead. I just know that no matter what I try, it won't be any use. If fight or flight mode kicks in, I need to get away. Right now, settling down into the room seemed like the only way to go. Just towards them, and I see a trio of guards already at the bottom, making their way up. Fuck. I step backwards, slowly. But Oliver is standing right behind me now. You know, it's really a shame, because I did always like you, Iggy. His smile. It's too wide. Taking up his whole face. Yeah, just like Gidget. In fact, in another life, we might have been good friends. Wonder how things would have turned out then. Another group of rabbit guards moves behind him, trapped on either side. My lips, my jaw, even my eyes feel like quaking, fluttering in time with my racing heart. I suppose now we'll never know. Something hits me from behind and a light goes out. Or at least my neck didn't get snapped. First thing I feel when I begin to move it is something clinging itself around me, tight, followed by the sensation of my legs leaving the ground. Open my eyes to find myself suspended in midair, rope curls snug around my arms, midsection, holding me aloft like a fish on a hook. Kick my legs, shake my shoulders, trying to swing forward, but it's futile. What I do is knock the breath out of my lungs and tire myself out. Ah, good, you come to. Olm has his hands on his hips, grinning at me from ear to ear. Wouldn't want you to miss all the fun. Now to wake up, Sleeping Beauty. Glance to my right to see Genzo is in a similar predicament. Loops and loops of rope cord all the way from his chest to his pelvis, and holding him aloft a few feet above the ground. All steps forward, clapping his palms across his cheeks, reverberating slaps. Rise and shine, you overgrown lush. Genzo coughs, groans. Remind me to thank John for a lovely weekend. Or smirks. Yes, you ate very well, didn't you? Then had a nice nap like a little piggy you are. Fortunately, it's time for all the little piggies to go to market. Genzo looks 10 shades of confused. Still seems out of it, watching. Autumn with his jaw slack and one eyebrow cocked. He blinks, glances down at himself. Well, this is an interesting development. Genzo, I hiss. Genzo turns his head towards me lazily. Oh, Iggs, you're here too. What are you doing just hanging around? Genzo, be serious. This isn't a fucking joke. Don't let out a pearl of laughter. Genzo? Serious? Could be serious if his life depended on it. Except maybe when tormenting me. You always took that pretty seriously, didn't you? Jazzed his finger into the underside of Genzo's chin, cocking his head upwards. Oh god, is that what this is about? You butthurt I picked on you when we were kids? Genzo rolls his eyes. Get a life. My face goes pink, red, purple. Picked on? Picked on? You ruined me, Genzo. Clenches at his hair. But you never even realized it, did you? Damn, we're whipping out the last names? I'm in big trouble now. Shut up. Genzo just grins. Did I hurt you, your little butt? Did you need me to get powder and patted and make it all better? Maybe suck your dick while I was at it? Stop it. Genzo is on a roll now. Eyes flash. Oh, don't tell me. It's all about that time after prom, isn't it? Holy fuck. Do you really think that? Olin shrieks. Grabs a spear from nearby guards. Behind them, reels it back. Gotta muzzle that fucking mouth of yours. He swings. Flat side of the spear clocks Genzo right across the jaw. It flies from his mouth as the resounding crack echoes off the walls. Olin lets the head of the spear drop to the ground, red-faced, shoulders heaving. Genzo is quiet for a moment. Looks down, spits out a tooth. Pathetic. Can't even break a guy's jaw properly. He snickers, then coughs, then trails of blood down his chin. You're pathetic then and you're pathetic now. Wanna know why I picked on you? Because you're a pathetic excuse for a human being. Everybody hated you, you know that? Even your parents hated you. That's why your dad beat on you. That's why your mom killed herself. Fucking hell, Gonzo. Maybe I should have let this happen to you. Because I had a pathetic rat for a son. Olin wails. Makes his hands to his cheeks, clutching at his face, clawing at his eyes. Wail morphs into a scream, deep and heady, roots straight from his lungs. Reaching for the spear, reels it back, and slams it into Genzo's chin again, and from the opposite direction. Again. Again. Genzo's head wrenches back and forth with each subsequent crunch. Finally, one crumbles. As the spear falls from his head sinks to his knees, facing his palms. Genzo's face is a wreck. Jaw tilts awkwardly to one side. Bloody warts decorate his chin and cheeks. Another cough. This time, he sends about a pint of blood to the ground, along with a handful of teeth. I feel tears well up in my eyes, blurring my vision. Genzo, what are you doing? I say weakly. Genzo turns to look at me, and goddamn if that fucker doesn't actually smile. Grins through the blood clots leaking out between his missing teeth. Trying to keep him from going after you. Face goes white, lips trembling. It's at that moment that Olin begins to laugh. Uh-oh. Might have made him crack, buddy. Starts with a tiny chuckle, barely even noticeable. Grows into a manic snicker that rocks his arms and shoulders. High-pitched and squeaking, almost like a rabbit chipmunk. I don't have to put up with any of this. What am I doing? I'm gonna kill you, then I'm gonna eat you for tomorrow's breakfast. Pushing himself to his feet with a wobble. Laughing so hard he has tears streaking down his cheeks. His eyes, something wrong with his eyes. Dark and sunken, pupils impossibly small. Brings his hands to his cheeks, able to contain himself, twisted grin stretched practically to his ears. Tomorrow's menu is roasted pig on a spit. That's delivered towards an iron crank. With a panic upwards twist, realized that the ropes we're hanging on are connected to a system of overhead pulleys. I feel like this music is a little too upbeat for the situation at hand, but twist the crank, pulls a set of levers on its handle, then wrenches it backwards. Gunson's body rises up, up, up. All pulls it right, clank, clank, clank. Now Genzo moves to the left, coming to an abrupt stop right over the center of one of the boiling cauldrons. Shit. Fuck. Genzo winces, wriggling uncomfortably as the hot steam envelops him. Hold him, stop. Hold him, we can talk about this. Come on. I was racing, pull and tug and kick my legs in a futile panic. This little piggy went to market, one screeches with a peal of laughter. Pleasingly and pulls back hard on the lever. Feel my heart drop as Genzo plunges into the cauldron. Genzo! A sickening splash, while spilling up and over the edge and onto the floor below. Olin wrenches the lever back almost immediately. Genzo is yanked back out. During each of his experienced skin is turned pink. Steam is rolling off his body. Olin starts, his voice low, phlegmy, and filled with a strange deep-seated helplessness. Never heard from him before. This little piggy stayed home. Wolf jerks down on the lever. Genzo is sent flying back into the rolling water. And pulled up next, body sags in nervation. Came struggling to breathe, throat gasping, chest rasping. Skin has turned a brilliant shade of red. Need to do something. Anything. Going to die. Twist my head from side to side, looking for something, looking for anything, taking in our surroundings. But there's nothing, just cauldron after cauldron after cauldron. Beyond those, along in the battalion of rabbit guards. Fuck. This little piggy had a roast beef. Hear all a squeal, then telltale sounds of the lever followed by a gigantic splash. Don't even look this time. I don't have to look. Had to figure something out. That's why I see it. Cauldrons. Either because it was a rush job or Olam and his men had no idea what they were doing. They're actually pretty precariously structured. Held up by their roaring fires by nothing but 4 wooden planks, one on each side, without any sort of additional support. If even one of these planks were taken away, then it's time to wonder. If it will work or not. Start swinging. There's a cauldron not far to my left, and with a little bit of momentum I may, just may, be able to reach the closest plank. Here Genzo get pulled out of the water. Gus sputters. His breathing sounds like it's being wrenched across sandpaper, like nails on a chalkboard. Further, build up momentum. Swinging, swinging. This little piggy had none. Another splash. One of the rabbits is so focused on Genzo that I don't even notice my antics. Closer and closer. Reach out my foot on the next swing. Touch the plank. I can reach it. Just need more power. 1 more swing. 2 more swings. Going pretty fast now. Might be enough. It might be enough. They all shriek again. Piercing laughter sending my heart into overdrive. This little piggy went wee all the way home. Fly forward and kick with every ounce of my strength I can possibly muster. Foot connects. A sharp snap and the plank goes spinning away from the cauldron. When something goes very fast after this. A heavy groan from the cauldron as it tips forward. And snap, snap, snap. Additional weight breaks the other planks. Cauldron falls into the fire with a thundering crash and rolls forward. Its spilling out gallons and gallons of rolling, frothing muck across the floor, towards the group. All screeches and jump backwards at the encroaching wave. Rabbit guards follow suit, leaning back in fear. "What are you doing, idiots?" one yells. "You're in armor. Go stop him. Clean that up." "But, sir," Rabbit in front clutches at his spear. "I is a highly effective conductor of heat. Walking in the boiling water will cook our feet like miniature kilns." Will clutches his hair in disbelief. You useless lager morse. Don't waste a second. I'm bouncing and kicking as hard as I possibly can, pulling, yanking and stretching the rope until one fuzzle jerk snaps, go tumbling to the floor. I will splat in the hot water and give a breathy yelp. Arms and cheeks burn with it. So hot it makes my eyes water, but I can't let it stop me. Walk towards a piece of wood, scuttling from the fire and still burning and smoking, and slam my back straight into a particularly glowing remnant. Burn, 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 goddammit. I can smell the cause of the rope singeing, feeling the heat transferring through it into my skin. I press down hard and begin wriggling, pushing out with my arms to snap the charring bits of rope. The moment they became weak enough to break. Doesn't take long. A jagged rip, the fibers of the outer ropes loosen, come apart, which is enough for me to snake my arms out of the bindings and frankly pull the rest off. Now to my feet, taking only half a second to stir the situation before running towards the next closest cauldron, kicking out the plank pointed towards Orm and the rabbits. Goes down with a heavy click, sending another wave of freshly boiled slop towards our captors. All screams and stumps his feet, routes back up even further. Topple one more cauldron, race towards the cauldron beneath Genzo's cinder, spilling two. Feel my feet burning in my soaking socks and shoes, but I pay them no mind. My adrenaline seems to be masking the pain, at least for the time being. Take advantage of this fact to kick the remaining fire beneath Genzo's cauldron, had sat scattering the boards and stamping at the fire, and reach out, jump and grab Genzo's shoulders. Let my full weight tug down on the rope, and it separates with a snap. Fall to the floor with a giant smack. Head rings, but I push through it. Already up, tugging at the ropes cinched around Genzo's arms. Genzo? Genzo, buddy, go wake up. Wake up. I yank away the ropes, slap on his cheeks. It's out cold. Skin is deep red. Thick layer splotches decorate his neck, chin and forehead. I myself sweating just in the steam spilling up and away from his body. Wake up. Wake up. I can't carry you. Tears of frustration prick at my eyes. Finally lets out a cough, and surprised he's still alive. Cracks open his eyelids. His eyes have gone white. Iggs, he croaks. He can barely hear him. Do me a favor. Lean closer. What is it? I cough. Could you poke me with a toothpick? Because I think I'm done. You fucker. Pull him up to a seat. Bobbles for a moment, but ultimately seems able to hold himself up. Go try to walk with me, okay? It's the only way out of here. But I'm not leaving you the fuck behind. Stand up, grab his hand, and pull him up beside me. Leans heavily against me. That's it. Come on. Loop an arm around his back and begin to move, sloshing through the layer of water on the floor. Manages to move his feet fast enough to keep up. Doesn't seem able to do much else. Got about half his weight on my shoulders. Oh great, you're still alive. Stop him! Stop him! All screech interrupts my thoughts. Shit. Heart nearly leaps out of my chest. I have to buy some more time. Start for the stairs as fast as I can. Make a beeline towards each cauldron on the way. 1, 2, 3. go down, sending more and more boiling water into the floor. Can't feel my feet anymore. Legs are screaming, my heart pounding. Only got a few minutes at most. Hear all the screeching and yammering, and batting at the rabbits with the handle of his spear. Rabbits still refused to go into the steaming water. Iggy fucking Maxwell. I hear as I start up the stairs, but I don't have time to look, to check, to see if he's following yet. Up, up, up. I tug into the steps. Don't think I've ever held someone so tight my entire life. Bloody screams with every step. My ears are straining for any hint of those iron boots, racing up the stairs after us. When I tug Genzo out onto the landing. Just before we escape into the tunnel, catch a glimpse of rabbits splashing through the water down below. Fuck. Put myself into the tunnel, rolling, begging Genzo to move faster. Come on, come on. I can feel tears of frustration build up in my eyes. Tunnel ends and we fly into the stairway into the main hall. Gasping for breath by this point. Place Genzo back onto my shoulder when I feel him starting to slip and search for the door through the sweat leaking down into my eyes. Come on, Genzo, come on. Stay with me, buddy. Tugging towards the entrance, slam my hip against the door. I was with a heavy crack, just enough for me to slip the two of us outside, out into the garden. Then I'm racing down the path, heart pounding in my ears, huffing, puffing, groaning in terrified expiration. Past the moat, past the empty guardhouses, to the little town up ahead, through the pink glimmer of sun on the horizon. No good. Gotta go a different way. That'll be the first place they go. So I tug Genzo off the path away from the town, away from the castle, through the grass and towards the trees. Lungs are burning, legs feel like jelly, but I push on. Have to push on. Genzo's slipping again, his feet aren't keeping up as well as before. Have to keep pulling, keep tugging. Spy creek up ahead, quiet, tranquil. Next to it, a large outcropping of boulders. Grab my teeth and power through the last stretch, not stopping until we made it outside behind the rocks. I just give out the moment I stop moving. I sink to the ground, taking Genzo with me. Fuck, I can barely breathe. I lie there a moment, eyes closed, check on Genzo, roll him over onto his back. Breath is strange and raspy, almost as though he's trying to breathe through a straw. His eyes are just barely cracked open. Genzo. I wipe at the sweat on my forehead, cheeks and neck. Heart is beating in my ears. Genzo coughs. His face looks so awful I can hardly bear to look. Bastard. He aches out. Should have figured he'd have one last way to fuck me over. Pulls his lip into a little half smile. Here I was hoping I could get a good look at you one last time. Right down my lip, staring at his clouded eyes, gazing vacantly up at the sky. Here, come on. Pull his head into my lap, 'cause I don't know what else to do. Oh damn, this is nice. Best pillow I could ever ask for. I slide his hat off his head. These miniature blisters across his forehead. Wince and try to smooth down his hair. Twinge would go on my diaphragm's back, curling and twisting and eating away at my insides. Blink, and the Genzo in front of me is suddenly much younger. Even as hard as I tried to block it from my mind, memory still feels fresh. Almost like it happened yesterday. Thunder rattles the window pane next to the bed, shaking the house, shaking out through my gut, my ribs, my heart. Close the blanket to my chin, breath fast and hot. You scared, Iggs? Genzo is next to me. Genzo was always sleeping over my house. We play video games, gorge on snacks and pizza. I stay up until past midnight, just talking and talking. and all the way up until junior high. I always act like a kid with him. I don't respond. Instead, chew on the edge of the blanket, staring up at the ceiling. It's louder this time. Lightning flashing across the window, lighting up the whole room. I tense. I'm weirdly giving off a little moon as I try to shrink deeper into the bed sheets. Don't worry, I gotcha. Just come into the safe, warm bosom of my arms. Not sure he knows what the word bosom actually means, but I'm not in the mood to chastise him for it. No curl around me. In the heat of the moment, he'll snuggle just a bit against his chest. Too scared to worry about how it looks. Another boom. This one doesn't make my heart jump quite as much. Take a deep breath and close my eyes, lean myself to sleep. That's when I feel it. Poke against my stomach. Genzo frees against me. Sucks in his breath. What do I do? Pretend I don't feel anything? Pull away? Then he'd know that I know. But he already knows that I know. No way I wouldn't feel that. Starting to sweat now. Feeling weird. Uncomfortable. Don't know how to explain it. Cold. Cold chill working its way down through my spine, across my arms and legs. Shaking. I can't stop. Genzo. I heard something in the hallway. The hallway? Genzo's voice squeaks. Yeah, could you go check? Sure, of course, yeah. Pulls away, sits up. I see him take a moment to collect himself. Sitting there on the side of the bed. Apparently stands up. I'm gonna go check for you. Thanks. Still shaking, but the feeling is starting to leave. Tightness in my chest loosening. Genzo's darkened form walks towards the other side of the room. Hear the click of a door opening. Steps out into the hall. Gone a long time. Another window rattling thunderclap sends me back beneath the covers. Then I hear it. Thud from outside, followed by a yelp and a series of sharp cracks on the stairs. Genzo? I'm out of bed in an instant, dashing for the door, thin pajamas fluttering. Ready for the light in the hall. When I turn it on, see Genzo lying at the bottom of the stairs. I'm moving. Genzo! No. Each no falls in time with my footsteps down the stairs. When I stumble down next to him, it's already out cold. Blood leaking out his ears, his nose, drooling from his mouth. He spent a week in the hospital after that. They said he'd be fine. Just fine. Perfectly fine. A month later, his sight had begun to go. Oh. That's how he lost his sight. Damn. Whoops. We should have caught that. Tears prickle my eyes as I look down at Genzo now. How had everything come to this? Wipe at the snot leaking down my nose. Let out a quivering breath. Need to do something. Find a way to help him. But how? And from where? Not like he can walk anymore. Do I leave him behind? Maybe I could follow the creek. Surely it should lead somewhere. Another town over, maybe? Somewhere further from Orlam and his guards. Scoot Genzo's head gently off my legs, down onto his hat to give him some cushion, rise to my knees. Gonna go find someone, okay? Okay. Bring someone back who can help you. You need to get you to a doctor. Okay. Just gotta follow the creek. There's gotta be some place along it. Maybe a little village or something. Okay. Drop down on the inside of my cheek. Genzo's just lying there, not even trying to look in my general direction. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going. Koss. Yeah. Reach for his hand, clasping it in my own and giving it a squeeze. I'll be back. Okay. I take off, staggering my way alongside the creek and further into the trees. Trudge further and further into the woods, following the creek, following its winding path through the trees, through the brush, through the rocks and petals, slit and clay. I stumble, fall, press on, press forward, fast forward, rewind. If only I could rewind this, rewind everything. Back to my apartment, safe and sound. Back to the barbecue, everyone alive and well. What is all this? Why is this happening? Can't feel my feet at this point. Can't feel much of anything at this point. Forward, forward, for the sound of the water. Forward to salvation, forward to judgment. Trees are thicker now, darker. Sun peeking through dappled patterns on the current. And the air feels cold. Almost like I'm being watched. Turn around, check the path behind me. There's nothing. No one. Just a damn chill on the back of my neck, curling like a leech beneath my collar, sending pinprickles of unease down my spine. Along with some very eerie and creepy music to accompany this feeling. Completely still, save for a small object hanging from one of the trees up ahead. Sways ever so slightly, twisted on a string. Push it carefully, senses keen. Cup it in my hands. It's a doll. Doll? Its button eyes stare at me, and its cotton body sits limply in my palms. Hopefully we're not going to meet other mother and other father in here then, because definitely don't need a Coraline situation happening. Let go, watch it swing back into its original position, hanging from its neck as though it dropped from the gallows. Twirls, dances, eyes pointed skyward. There's another one up ahead. When I move towards it, I spot another, and another. And there's a lot of them, everywhere. I spin around. They're everywhere. Hanging from the trees, bodies limp, eyes lifeless. Sweat falls along my hairline, tracing my temple. My heart. Something feels like it's twisting my heart. Unbearable sadness. So I've never been happy. I'll never be happy again. Need to get out of here. Begin walking again. Faster. Practically jogging now. For a second I can feel the pain stabbing at my heart. Feel the emptiness expanding out inside of me. I swear at branches and leaves stumbling over rocks on the ground. Feel like I'm falling through a bottomless hole. Everything around me is black. Foot hits a large stone angled upward and away from the creek. Head of dirt, shoulder throbbing and face full of grass. More than that, the weight is gone. Claws of sadness have receded from my heart. I blink, push myself up. Slider 2, reach some sort of clearing. In the center of the clearing is a small cottage, smoke clearing from its chimney. There's someone here? I'll push myself all the way up to my feet, looking around. Someone's chopping wood behind the cottage. Someone's here. Someone who might be able to help us. Step forward, limping at first, pushing through the pain at my feet and rushing forward, as much strength as I can muster. Round the corner of the cottage, then stop. But my eyes grow wide. One of the chopping blocks stills, rises to her full height. Bucks, I finally say, voice cracking. Doesn't turn around. Doesn't move either. Just stands there, axe in her hand, facing the trees. Bucks, it's me. It's Iggy. I take a step forward. Knew we'd find you here. Knew it all along, She turns. Oh. Faces blink. Different. Doesn't even blink. Swallow the sentence I was about to say. Look from her to the chopping block to the cottage. Bucks, what are you doing here? Voice trembles. Did you open the door to Wonderland? Where's Sadie? Bucks. I didn't open the door, Iggy. Bucks says slowly, heavily. You all know adults like us can't open the door. What did you do with Sadie? A smile. Small at first, going into a delightful moon-shaped curve. She opened the door for me. Throat goes tight. What do you mean? I mean, I had a feeling that she used the child, but how much blood did she take from the child? She wouldn't stop crying, Iggy. Crying and screaming and whining and screeching. Couldn't take it anymore. It was driving me crazy. Take a step back. Bucks. My voice is barely whisper. What did she do? I stopped her from crying. Blood runs cold. I can't move. Can't breathe. Now look at me. It's wonderful, Iggy. Listen to that silence. Throws her arms back her arms. Nothing and no one to bother me. A pause. Then her gaze snaps back to me. At least there wasn't. Face darkens. Why are you here? Did Hannah send you? He sent you, didn't he? Bucks. Uh-oh. How's he gonna turn into an axe-wielding murderer? You're here to make me go back there, aren't you? Take all this away from me. No, Bucks, I would never. I'm not going back. I'll kill you before you can take me back. Bucks, stop. It hurts. Fuck, it hurts. I lie there and breathe, looking up at the sky. Everything looks so gold. Icky. Or catches and I cough. Heck, tremors running through my body. What do you want, Iggy? So gold. So fucking gold. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? What do I don't know what I want. I don't. I do. Because lying there, looking up at the endless gold sky, I've realized something. A single thread connecting all my friends' miseries has ruined their lives. It's me. Another shuddered breath. So obvious. All of it. Raise my hand. Raise it towards the expanse of gold. I wish. Tears have returned. Flowing freely now. Tracing cloudy river through the dirt and scratches on my cheeks. I wish I never existed. Wait, what? That's it? Oh. There's a lot to process at the end of that. Holy fuck. Actually, I don't think that's it, because it said Act 1, and I know there's 4 other acts, so I don't know. It's a lot to process as that. Oh my god, that was so fucked up. So many feelings. I can't believe Bucks did that to the kid. And we pretty much ended up dying anyway, but we wished we never existed, so what that means for everybody else, because, yeah, does that mean Bucks never married? Then does that mean Ginzo, never lost his eyesight? Because we had a whole reason that he lost his eyesight. What about, Olam as well? and also get you. Man, fuck. And that's what he wished for.